in the live stream, where are you moving my space heater in the live stream?
To give myself some space.
Okay.
Moving the space heater for space.
Moving the space heater so you can have more space. Solid. It's a valid reason, I'd say. I'll allow it this time. It's a live stream. It's a live stream. Not straight in the live stream. In the live stream. In the live stream. Doing the stuffs and the things. And the stuffs and the things. In the live stream. In the live stream. Because the live stream, it's good. You need to straighten out more.
These make it hard. That's literally what it is these. Especially since I don't have a thing on right now.
In the live stream. Talking about the gods and the not gods and the theisms and the atheisms and the whatnots and the stuffs and the things and the stuffs and the things. Yeah. Is there a God?
Good form.
Do we have reason? Lower. Lower. You're still not straight.
How low do I gotta go?
That's about good. Taylor is doing exercises. We're getting into shape.
I hate planks.
Planks aren't the best. I don't mind planks, honestly.
I don't like it.
Planks, they kind of just are what they are. Good, simple, not really meant to be enjoyable. What can you do? Look. Evidence for atheism? So atheism is the lack of belief in a God. So justification for atheism is the lack of evidence for a God. Cognitive states aren't evidence? I didn't say they were. So if I have no reason to believe in the existence of a God, how am I supposed to believe in the existence of a God? I don't need to prove. First off, atheism isn't really a provable thing because it's not a claim, it's just a lack of belief. But also, I don't need to, even if it was claiming that there was no God, I wouldn't need to disprove something that hasn't been proven to begin with. I just need to point out that it hasn't been proven to begin with. Hello, I'm going to subscribe. You're a great YouTuber. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. This is cognitive state, not peer review. So I have no reason to believe something is true, so I don't believe it's true. Why is that? Why is that an issue? What does that break? Like, what rules? Like, what's the issue? I need a peer-reviewed paper because nobody's presented sufficient evidence for the existence of a God. So I need a peer-reviewed paper to justify my lack of belief in a God. That's in your head, not reality. Oh, yeah, you've tried this argument before. So God's in your head, not reality. I can play that game too. It's not really my stance, by the way, but I can play that game too. God's in your head, not reality. You're the one putting forth the positive claim, I would assume, maybe I'm wrong, that a God is real, that a God exists. I'm saying, I don't believe you. I don't have reason to believe that. Hello. That's all that's happening here. It doesn't mean that there's not a God, and I'm not convinced that there's not a God. I just don't have reason to believe. I would like reason. It'd be cool. I'm one of those weirdos who I wouldn't really be upset if there was a God. Maybe not any of the proposed gods, of the religions, but something else out there. Especially I don't know, if there was an afterlife. Souls would be cool. Whatever else. Somebody posted in chat, I farted, and then like deleted their message. Message retracted. You need to retract that. It's kind of whatever. Reincarnation? I wouldn't mind reincarnation. Is that weird? Hey, mama. Hey, Doom. Yeah, is that weird? You know, reincarnation? I wouldn't mind it. We can play with different... there's some ideas of reincarnation that are, like, more or less nice than others. So, like, you know, that's a conversation that could be had. Bangs don't want to bang today. But yeah, apart from that, you know. Have you ever seen your clones? Not yet.
Very delayed.
But I'm ready. I'm prepared for when the day comes. There can only be one.
See how delayed you are.
That's alright.
Very delayed.
It be like that sometimes. Dance, ho? Nah. Not a dancer. Unfortunately. Sorry to disappoint. Can you has a charger? Yeah, just it's right there. Just go ahead and pull it out. I could be, if I really wanted to. You know, it's not exactly my life's ambition. But like, yeah, you know, yeah, I'm sure I could learn how to dance if I so wished. I'm sure, you know, anyone could probably. It better be sexy or I'll deport you. I think I'm getting deported. No, I can do something weird.
Deported where? Back here?
Right, deported where? I can do something like weird.
Take
like,
you on a vacation somewhere else and then bring you back?
Because here's the thing, like if you're focusing on sexy, like I don't know if dance moves necessarily need to be good. I feel like I could do like sexy dance moves. They just won't be good. I don't know.
You can do it for me. I will say.
Yeah.
I'm so glad we have carpet.
Carpet is nice.
This.
Okay, deal. It'll be on my OnlyFans when I come out with that. One of these days. When I need more money and clout and stuff, I'll make an OnlyFans. When I'm more ready to sell out, you know. No, I feel like that'd be pretty close on my list, like, once I want to sell out. Because then, like, the last step would be, like,
this is
becoming a Christian YouTuber would be, like, my last-ditch effort to, like, sell out and make money on this.
I've discovered something.
Wear a mask. Wear a mask. Yeah, just be careful. Yeah, Taylor's working out in the background, so don't mind.
Don't mind me.
Getting that workout. I haven't done any workout today. I'm going to need to after the live. I've not taken the time.
That is something. Oh my god.
Better an OnlyFans creator than a Christian apologist is a pretty wild take, but, you know. I don't know. I guess it depends on what kind of... it depends on what kind of person you are at the end of the day, you know? As long as you're a decent human being, you do whichever. Be a Christian, but not for YouTube. Nah, I wouldn't become a Christian. I don't think I'd ever go down that road. Maybe, you know, I'm just not necessarily off the table. But if I ever want to sell out, if I ever lose my moral compass and just want to, like, do clout and make money and stuff, I'll switch this over to a Christian YouTube channel It'll be so much more lucrative than the atheist one. Especially, I would keep all these old videos on. I'd keep the OnlyFans up and everything. Just be like, yeah, see, like, look at where where I was. I fell so far away from grace and stuff, but God brought me back. I would milk it. I would milk that shit.
Milk it for all it's worth.
Yeah, no, I can do it. I mean, especially, I know how to, like, preach and, like, talk about God and stuff. People, back when I used to be more preachy and was trying to be an apologist, I had people in my life who were wondering if I was being called to become a priest, and I helped quite a few people, like, strengthen their faith. So I can do it. I could do it better now. Now that I have more knowledge of stuff, oh man, the world wouldn't be ready. Hello, dude. I got a comment that made me feel good about myself. So I posted a short yesterday or today, yesterday I think. It's time to become the Pope? Not yet. Gotta let that cook for a minute. How long have I been on? Today, 11 minutes and 40 seconds. So, not much. Hello. But, so I made my post, can people of different religious beliefs, including those without a religious belief, sit down at the same table and discuss their differences in I think it's a peaceful and civil manner, or calm and civil manner, and explain your answer. And somebody on Instagram, one of like my main main commenters and viewers on Instagram, says, "Sure, you do it all the time on your show." And that feels good, you know. Like, can people of different religious beliefs, including those who don't have religious beliefs, come and sit down at the same table and talk about it in a peaceful, civil manner? Yeah, you do it all the time on your show, and it's nice. It's nice that recognition and that, like, affirmation, because that is what I'm going for. I don't know if you guys have noticed, I've been a little less abrasive these days. I'm not just trying to be like any other atheist content creator, just trying to dunk on the Christians or theists or whatever. I went ahead and took the pitchfork down. I mean, I take it down every day, but I don't have the pitchfork in the background today because I just kind of got to thinking, I'm like, why do I have the pitchfork in the background? It's to piss people off and to trigger, Christians and theists into engaging. I don't know. I just kind of don't vibe with that. So I just kind of had to, like, stop and, like, ask myself and think. It's just like, is that really something that I want for my content? So I don't have the pitchfork up. If you look carefully, you can still see the Satanic Bible back there, and it's staying because it's my bookshelf. But yeah, I'm definitely just trying to be that. Come and sit down at the same table and let's discuss our differences. And it's nice getting that recognition, other people, like, affirming that, like, that's what I'm doing. Okay, that's nice. Long story. Thoughts on the military spending $1 billion per day on the current war? What is it good for? Peaceful discourse only gets easier when it's with friends and family. Peaceful discourse only gets easier when it's with friends and family. There's a higher level of respect for one another. Perhaps. Where's Trevor? I had to set him down. I mean, it's sitting right over there. You should put that pitchfork back. It gives character to your background. It does, but, like, that's not the number one reason I had it up. The number one reason I had it up, my justification, the reason I put it up every live stream, was to piss people off and to trigger people into commenting and engaging. So, however much it helps or doesn't help, or whatever other purposes it may serve in the background, just knowing that that's something that it does do is just trigger people and upset people and get them to engage. And the idea that that's the main thing that I have wanted it to do, I don't know. maybe one day it'll make a comeback where I do want to get like little like Satan figures. I have like 2 Jesuses. I want to get like, actually I think one of them is supposed to be God. I mean, it's fucking the same person, but yeah, I have 2 Jesuses. I do want to get like some like Satan figures, put somewhere on my shelf. We'll wear devil horns every stream. Put on a bunch of filters that add fire everywhere. Buddy, I don't know how to do any of that filter stuff. The pitchfork serves the purpose of prodding the damned whenever they try to crawl out of the lake of fire. Sure. I have an idea. Put an upside down cross on the background. See, that's, I'm not in the business of just trying to like piss off theists these days. I'm gonna be honest with you. I could do it if I wanted to. I got plenty of ways. It'll draw more people, but also, do I want to just be another, arrogant asshole? Look at these stupid Christians. Do I want to be that? And the answer is no. God is stupid. I have 102.
You have to be late.
Or you're being bold, a caricature of Muhammad. I could add a little Muhammad to the shelf. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, why stop at Jesus and Satan? I could get like Muhammad. I could get like Krishna up there. I could get a Buddha. It's not a bad idea, actually. I have my Taoism symbol here on my arm somewhere. So I got my Taoism representation. Muhammad perhaps isn't the best to have iconography of. You might be right, actually, especially in this day and age. Yeah, no, that might be. Yeah, you might be right. Because I don't know if this is your reasoning, Doom, but I do kind of stray away from speaking out against Islam, at least for the most part in my videos, for a lot of reasons, mostly because I just focus on Christianity. It's the main religion that is influencing the country that I live in right now, the main one that I have to deal with on a daily basis, the one that I was raised in, that I have the most knowledge of and personal grievances with, so I focus on that. But also, people say, yeah, now talk bad about Islam. First off, I do. Judaism, Islam, and Christianity are terrible. But also, there's a lot of unjust Islamophobia going on in this country where anyone, well, not anyone, but where people are being attacked and harmed and killed for looking like they're from the Middle East. And I don't want to add to that. So, yeah. Maybe we'll leave the Muhammad one out of the background. Not gonna lie, he's I don't know what that is, by insulting God by dudes still wet behind his ears. Fuck God. Yeah, I don't know what's wrong for me. Wait, what's going on right now? What's going on? Islam is extremely iconoclastic. Even a respectful depiction of Muhammad will cause outrage among Muslims. Okay. I believe you don't talk much bad about Islam because you are woke. Maybe when you're having your butt hurt, It truly just is that Islam isn't his expertise. Yeah, it's not my expertise, and I don't want to fuel any of the unjust Islamophobia going on. I don't think anyone should be discriminated against or harmed in this country on suspicion, just because they look like they're from the Middle East. Not even because they're Muslim, just because they look like they're from that area of the world. I don't want to fuel that. You know, asked me if he wants. I grew up Muslim. I need to study Islam more. I do this year. I want to make room for more books. I'm already 2.5 books in. They've been pretty short books, but I'm already 2.5 books in, which is honestly pretty cool for me. I've always had reading issues, especially after I had my head injury. That really slowed me down a lot. So it's kind of exciting. But I want to read. I want to finish the book I'm on, read another one, and then I want to read the Bible, which is going to take me a minute. I want to reread that. And maybe I'll reread the Quran. I wouldn't mind rereading the Quran. I don't think I will. It's rough how close critiques of Islam and Judaism are to anti-Semitism and Islamophobia. These things need to be talked about, but they also have a great potency to fuel bigotry. Yeah, I'll speak ill about bad stuff all day, every day, but I'm not here to fuel bigotry. I mean, a big part of my content, the reason I've been posting, one of the big reasons I make this content and have been for the past couple of years, is to combat bigotry. I will not. So, to fuel that just wouldn't work. And I just came across this shit and seeing how people are like, I ain't a devout believer, nor am I an atheist. I just respect it because without faith, there is no life, and without disbelief, there is no faith. Sure. Is it just me? But Islamophobia is a BS. Any religion can be criticized. Muslimphobia, however, is abhorrent. What? Hey, how's it going? I'm doing alright. Good to see you. Islamophobia is a BS. Any religion can be criticized. Muslimphobia, however, is abhorrent. I get what you're saying, but in the minds of the hateful bigots in this country, there's no difference between Islamophobia and Muslimphobia. It all just gets, mashed into bigotry towards anyone who looks like they're from the Middle East. About done with that wolf puzzle?
About done? No.
You're so close. You're like
Getting closer, yes.
You're like 40% of the way.
This just has some interesting pieces to it.
With respect, I bet you're either liberal or gay. First impression. What if I'm both? God being real is inherent. Look at creation as proof. It's not creation. You into aliens? Am I into aliens? Like, in what way? I'd like to think that I'm one of those people where I'm not going to claim, like, yeah, there's definitely aliens out there, but, like, looking at how big the universe is and how much stuff there is and the fact that the necessary things for life are, like, fucking everywhere, I would be pretty shocked to find out that there's no other life out there anywhere. It's like, that's, I'm not claiming that there has to be, but damn, that would be a shock to me if there wasn't anything else out there. People aren't supposed to walk on eggshells around Islamophobia. Many aspects of that religion are indeed despicable and need to be addressed. I agree. I agree. Liberal? I'm more liberal leaning. I don't really adhere to, like, political parties. Because, people just suck. It all just sucks. But I'm definitely more liberal leaning. And I'm pansexual and non-binary. Islamophobia is when disdain strays from reasonable critique to unjust, hateful dogma. Yeah. It can be a fine line. And unfortunately, when giving legitimate critiques of the religion, it fuels just that fire of unjust Islamophobia and bigotry towards anyone who looks like they're from the Middle East is just so, that fire has grown so big that it's very easy to add to it and to fuel it. Do you throw there around? I don't know what you mean. Islam denies the crucifixion of Jesus. Correct. Check out the Law of One by Ra. It's free at LL Search. Okay, I might have to. Is there a moral reason why I can't have sex with my infertile sister? Incest. Ra is an alien civilization. Fingers crossed for 2028 that we finally find alien life. Or 2030. I forgot when the samples arrive. Samples? What samples? Liberal as fuck? Yeah. Your armpit, what about it? Why did you ignore my last comment about Islam? Did I ignore your last comment about Islam? I'm also behind on chat, so maybe I just hadn't read it yet. It's bad for my health? What's bad for my health? I'm not even from the Middle East. I'm of Indonesian descent. Okay, don't you find it amazing that I could figure out you were liberal just by looking at you? Sure. Hi. Yeah, but man, you can download the Law of One by Raw for free PDF. Let me take a picture of that. Just to have for my notes. I have to get to it at some point. If anything, it's interesting. Hey, sure, yeah. MAGA is just Scientology for people who can't afford Scientology. Damn. Don't seem amazed or even curious about it. About what? I feel like there's a couple different conversations going on, and I don't know like what all are addressed towards me. Because some of you guys are asking questions, and I feel like it's addressed to me, but also like I have no idea what you're talking about. Do you have the ability to become pregnant? As far as I know, no. Addressing me. Okay, hi. Hello. It could also be, sometimes YouTube will just like grab comments. Sometimes it'll hold them for review and let me review them. Like I have one on the screen right now that's held for review. I haven't looked at it yet because it just popped in. The comment in which I said Islam calls for worship a child pedophile rapist. Oh yeah, I don't usually say words like that, but I unhid it. You know, it's definitely good to be said and put in chat. It's just, you know, algorithms and stuff. I'm not like to say certain words. But, you know, I unhid it, so I definitely want that to be seen in chat. As far as you know, wow. Okay, that was more of a joke than anything. I think YouTube snagged it before we could ever read it. Yeah, so sometimes YouTube does just like you hit the post button or the comment button or whatever, the send button, and YouTube immediately sends it to the shadow realm. Like sometimes it holds it for review and sometimes it's just gone. And I get that a lot. I get a lot of people in these chats like, why aren't you responding to my comment? And I'll tell them like, your last comment was this. And then your next comment was this. They're like, no, I commented between that. It's like, it's not here, you know? So transgenderism is rubbish. Glad we got that out of the way. Islam says Jesus was not crucified. Go. Transgenderism isn't really the word that we use, and being trans isn't rubbish. I think you're just a bigot.
Can you get out of my way? I'm trying to do a puzzle.
And Islam says that Christ was not crucified. Go. Correct. I already said correct. Anyways, I gotta go. Have a good night, my man. I'll be back soon. Well, thank you for being here.
Small.
What is a woman? Depends on where you're looking. Typically, when we're talking about women or just gender or biological sex, gender is more in the brain. But typically, when we're talking about biological sex, we'll look at a few different things: chromosomes, XY male, XX female. Dude, stop. Testicles male, ovaries female. Sperm male, eggs female, typically. But also things get a little fuzzy. You know, sometimes people are born with both or neither sets of like physical traits. Sometimes people produce both eggs and sperms. They're pretty rare, but also like there's still a lot of them out there. I think the amount of people who are intersex is like the same as the population of Russia. So like it's not really a number that we can just ignore. Then you can also have like, you know, there's more than 2 different types of chromosomes that people can have. You can have oh fuck, what was it? Let me look that up real quick. XXY, X, I think XXX is one.
Smokey, can you politely...
I was hoping for a quick AI overview. It did not give it to me. Yeah, there are like different chromosomal pairs, so like it gets a little messy, but typically, it's mixed. It's genitalia, reproductive cells, and chromosomes. I'm asking questions and not being listened to. I just explained. Buddy, hey, straight up, I'm sorry you're such a bigot that you don't like to listen to my answers to your questions and you just want to sit here and be bigoted towards trans people. But have good faith conversations or fuck off. I'm literally explaining my answer to you. Women can refer to 2 different things, either biological sex or confer to gender. Gender is a whole different thing. Biological sex is determined by physical characteristics and gender is self-determined. Yeah, Nomad, I'm sorry. You're the one being an ass and being dishonest and being bigoted right now. Your answer was 5 years long. Because shit's more complicated than you might think, my guy. I'm sorry if the world is more complicated than you think. Sex and gender are typically linked, yeah. Gender is based on the typical social traits. It's a societal construct. It's usually based on these social traits that we would see aligned with the biological sexes. So yes, they are linked. They don't necessarily need to be the exact... It is complicated, buddy. I'm sorry. Nomad is not up for a good faith combo. Listen, I need you to just go do more research into this stuff. And also, like, if someone wants to be trans, why the fuck does it matter? Why does any of it matter? Adult human female. Okay, what is a female? Then it goes into my answer. Someone wanting to dress up like the opposite sex doesn't make them opposite sex respectfully. It does not. And that is the type quote science on trans issue, but not on the rest of biology or physics. $100 she's anti-vax. Motherfuckers be like, designing rockets isn't complicated, like asserting the claim is enough to justify the claim. Get a dictionary on that shelf. A female has XX chromosomes. Yes. Yeah, if we're looking chromosomally, typically it would be XX female, XY male. But then there's also like different ones like XXY and other different, I think there's like, I tried to look it up.
Get away from my puzzle. Just get away from it.
All
My good lord. Cat. I swear, Smokey. Get away from the puzzle.
possibilities. Let me try to use that word. All chromosome possibilities. XX, XY, XYY, XXY, X. Those are medical deformities, though. True, but we can't just exclude everyone from that. Also, because what I'm saying, that's why I said typically when it's talking chromosomally, it's this. But then sometimes your chromosomes don't match up with your genitalia or your reproductive cells. Sometimes you have both sets or neither set of reproductive cells or genitalia. You can have different chromosome pairs. It gets messy, but typically it's based on one or the other: genitalia, dick, vagina, reproductive cells, sperm, eggs, or chromosomes XX, XY, typically. But let me look this up. Total number of intersex people in the world. So on average, about 1% probably. 0.5 to 0.175% of the world's population. So you can't just ignore them. God will judge you. I feel like he's going to judge you first. You're being kind of nasty. You are a social justice liberal with postmodernist tendencies. I don't know what to do with you. What is God? It's not complicated. 2 words. Sky Daddy. You can tell Nomad watches SJW Freaks Out compilations. Maybe. There's a number. It didn't give me a number. Hey, you got a number for me? Nope. You do not. You just pulled up the same thing. So, it looks like somewhere between 0.5 and 0.175%. Sky Daddy, he bud. At least I know what a woman is. I just explained what a woman is. You're being such an ignorant, arrogant bigot right now, Nomad. And I'm sorry to say that. I'm sorry if that's mean, but I don't know what to do with you. What do you consider evidence for God? So I really don't know what would be good evidence for God. Probably the same standards of evidence that we hold everything else to. Something that we can observe, test, use for predictions. Something that we can actually play with and do something with. I don't really know what that would look like personally. I believe people pretending that sex doesn't define whether or not a person is a man or woman is why support of same-sex marriage is declining naturally. I believe that people pretending that sex doesn't define whether or not a person is a man or a woman is why support of same-sex marriage is declining nationally. I mean, sex determines biological sex, but then gender is a different thing. He wasn't prepared for this response. You had a waffle for 10 minutes. What the fuck does that mean? I'm late. That's okay, RM. Welcome. God does not exist if I'm wrong for me to have sex with my sister. So incest honestly is an interesting topic. There's grooming issues. It opens the door for a lot of grooming. Obviously, inbreeding, but if she's infertile, like you, I think you or somebody else, probably you said before, that's harmful to the species. It opens the door for grooming. I think those are 2 pretty good reasons to be against incest, personally. Who's Nomad? Is he acting crazy? What's going on here? Nomad's being very, 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 very bigoted and transphobic right now. It's pretty great. Had a waffle. Yeah. Gender and sex is linked. Gender is linked to sex. They're not the same thing, but gender is a social construct that we've developed that's based on what we would typically see from the biological sexes. So there is a link, but that does not mean that, a biological male is a gender male in every single case. You can call him names, but that doesn't mean the chromosomes do not define whether a person is man or a woman. Biologically, yeah. But then there's different chromosome pairs. But typically, yes, it's XX female. I've said that multiple times. XXX female, XY male. We should make a distinction between male, female, and male, man, woman. Male, female refers explicitly to biological facts, but man, woman is about social constructs. Yeah. I feel like you're probably right, but I feel like they're just used so interchangeably that, in casual conversation, they're usually synonymous. But I think you're right. God does not exist. Is it wrong for me to have sex with my sister? Especially if she's infertile. I just answered that, buddy. I'm sorry if you didn't like my answer. Informed, enthusiastic consent and power dynamic issues. Yeah, there is that. Can't logic itself be evidence? If you can't refute square circles without using the contradiction of premises, which are not empirical, then you cannot know for certain fundamental facts about logic. Sure. But does it prove the existence of a God? Adult is a social construct. Can we change that? Adult is not a social construct. Now, we have put certain lines on where we define it, but there is definitely a difference between a child and an adult. When a child becomes an adult, different cultures have put different lines. I think that 18 is a pretty good line to put that distinction. It's just me. When someone's done developing, maybe even push it back, I have no idea. But I think the idea of letting the kid be a kid and not an adult for as long as possible, and letting them grow and mature and develop and stuff, I think is a good idea. He can't throw out biological determinism because it hurts your feelings. Go back to God. No, man, I think you're having your feelings hurt more than anyone else here. I'm going to be honest with you. Outside of genetic risks of incestuous childbirth, incest is generally considered wrong because of power imbalance. Yeah. Not that there can't be morally permissible examples, but it's generally a bad idea. Who is this guy? Me? Nobody. An absolute random nobody. So is female a social construct? Gender-wise, male or female or man and woman, is a social construct based on a biological reality. But female is more of a biological thing. It's a biological category. The human mind is an extremely complicated system, and almost never does our behavior reflects it. The human mind is an extremely complicated system, and almost never does our behavior reflect a strictly binary pattern perfectly across all examples. I agree. Biological determinism with social constructivism layer on top. You want to get rid of definitions altogether? I've been giving you so many... Nomad, I think you're just so angry. And you can ask... I have some regulars in chat right now. You can ask them. I don't usually talk like this, but I think you're just so bigoted and angry and so blinded that you don't even want to have a conversation. You don't even really want to listen to half of what I'm saying. I really just don't know what to do for you at this point. Like my regulars in chat. Like, am I wrong? And can you also vouch that it's not like me to just like insult someone or call someone out so bluntly, unless it's warranted. Definitions aren't facts, they're tools we use to communicate concepts and ideas without confusion. Yeah. Something just like my computer opened a window and like flew it across the screen. I have no idea what just happened. You have called me bigoted. Yes, I have. It is not usually, what I don't usually go after people like that, but I think you've earned it. Whatever begins to exist has a cause for its existence. The universe began to exist, therefore it had to have had a cause. It can be deducted to be similar to God. Can't fit in this message. So what was God's cause? I called you fake and gay, so sue me. It's not really that. It's just that you're just kind of being an angry bigot all over my comment section, all over my chat. Where are the Christian YouTubers to make this guy be covered in the blood of God? I would not mind having a sit down or collabing with a Christian YouTuber. I would not. Yes, as far as I know, you tend to not to engage in personal criticisms of people. No, this guy is being rude and ignorant. Something from nothing. Who, all right, who said it? Who said it? Who in this chat said that everything came from nothing? Or that something can come from nothing? Who said it? I didn't. Who in this chat said it? Nomad is bordering belligerence. God said to love thy neighbor just because they might be rude. Be respectful, bad guys. Yes and no. I'm doing all right. Because I don't think men are women. I didn't say men are women. You're so pumped full of the bigoted rhetoric, the ignorant bigoted rhetoric, that you don't even know what the conversation is. God didn't need a cause because he is spaceless and timeless. It's bounded by the causal principles of the universe is bounded too. So God does not need to be caused because he isn't bounded by causality, while the universe is. I can say that the universe is spaceless and timeless ultimately, apart from what we have within the universe. But there's a greater picture of the universe that's not bound by space and time. It does not need a cause. Not dude, except me. Being covered in the blood of God sounds great, but that's red wine. Yum. Wine's pretty good. The blood of God. The blood of God. He was making a joke. The blood of God is not wine. He was making a joke. I have some anger problems myself. I think most people have lapses in which they choose personal attacks instead of focusing on the argument. I believe it's important to do our best not to do this. I absolutely agree. Have a good one, Nomad. We know it's not wine. It's just he was making a joke. Smoky. Because at the Last Supper, he took the wine. He's like, "This is my blood," and Catholicism preaches that like the wine at communion becomes the body, blood, soul, and divinity of God or Christ. So it's the same thing. Still respect for you. It's okay to be an atheist. I'll still respect you for who you are. I appreciate that. If it wasn't uncaused, then how did it begin? If you say that it began to exist, then it must have come from something, or else it came from nothing. But you explicitly reject it came from nothing. I have no idea. I have no idea. The Big Bang or the Big Expansion seems to be like a good, like, somewhere there, but like what caused it? What was before? What was before time in the space before space? Or at least before our current representation of space-time after the Big Bang. No idea. But just because we have no idea, just because we have no explanation, doesn't mean it has to have been a god. That's a god of the gaps fallacy. It's important to note that trans people generally don't deny biological reality. What they're saying is that a lot of traits and behaviors we associate with men aren't rules about social norms we invent. A lot of the traits and behaviors we associate with men aren't rules, but social norms we invent, and they're choosing to violate those norms. Yeah, it's and a lot of times it's people who just how they think and feel inside, it does not match up to who they are on the outside. concept of God is he's uncreated. You can make up anything that solves the problem, that answers the question, but that doesn't demonstrate that that thing exists. If a God existed, yeah, we could plug in a lot of holes, a lot of gaps in our knowledge. But just the fact that if he exists, he could plug those holes doesn't mean he has to. Similarly, traits associated with women. Again, we have to go to philosophy and speculative physics because the actual scripture is so demonstrably bullshit. Maybe. Well, we know that it must be spaceless and timeless because those are part of the universe. It had to be extremely powerful to create the universe, so maybe it was just a realm beyond the universe. Maybe it was just stuff happening. We have no idea. We have no idea. We can't make conclusions about anything about, what caused the Big Bang or anything like that, because we just have no idea. If it always existed, we would have been in heat death already. We do not know that. Yeah. I was just like watching her walk around and just like waiting for her to make eye contact with me, and when she did, she meowed at me.
Yeah.
I love it. I like cat meows. Don't ask me why. I like it. I like it when my cats talk. They're adorable. And Snickers has been doing like a soft meow or chirp at me lately, and I kind of think it's because she knows like I like it and it gets more of a reaction, gets more of my attention. Like I think she's learned it. It was like a learned trait because I absolutely love. Like when she just walks up and just goes. It's cute.
She has done more of a soft meow.
She has done more soft meows, and I'm wondering if it's just because she knows it gets more attention.
Maybe.
Not sure what religion my cat subscribes to. The universe, in theory, could be eternal if we assume a cyclical model, where it has periods of quiet and then sudden activity, like what we're in now. Yeah, there are a few different models of like, what the universe is and what it does, throughout time. Also, 13 likes on this live is crazy. That's a good number.
It is a good number.
Most of my lives don't get that. And you've had some engagement. I didn't have to ban Nomad. I don't know if he's still here. I don't really care if he is, but like, he was pushing some of my moderator boundaries. I'm gonna be honest. It's like, come in and disagree, and talk about it. 15 is crazy. Thank you guys. And like, that's great. All day, every day, we can discuss things. All day, every day. But if you're just gonna be an angry, ignorant, arrogant bigot about it, I don't really vibe with that. I'm gonna be honest. All day, every day, 24-hour stream. When? One of these days. One of these days. You handled that guy well. That's what people come to see. Well, good. I hope so. And like, I do feel bad. Like, just I had to be a little blunt with him. But it comes to a point where it's just like, all right, pal. I support people experiencing anger, just not taking it out on others through name calling or bullying. Yeah. There is just a line, you know? This topic stirs up a lot of emotions in people. And that's fine. But you gotta learn to chill the fuck out a little bit and sit down at the same table and discuss differences in a civil and peaceful manner. And some of us can, and some of us can but won't. What can you do? I'm probably gonna end the stream here soon. Get some food and go to bed. I suppose to some extent there's imbalanced stakes. Christians have their entire meaning of life to lose if they're wrong, but atheists arguably have nothing to gain. Perhaps. At least as it relates to this life and its death. Perhaps. Laws of thermodynamics. LOT. It didn't feel like typing it. Thermodynamics is a big word. Thermodynamics. What confuses me about speculating on the universe's origin is that none of it calls for God. It's just creating an uncertainty and plugging God in because it's not disprovable. Yeah? Drew, how do you stand on consciousness and reason being a result of physical processes? And I assume you accept evolution because that's true in scientific consensus. Yes, I do accept evolution. And again, just because it's something that we don't understand or don't know everything about doesn't mean it can't be so, or doesn't mean it has to have been, it doesn't mean it can't have been natural processes and must have been something supernatural or whatever. Brains developed over time and got more complex and fired off in different, more complex ways, and now we're here. And other animals, their brains are where they're at, because there are also other animals that have quite complex brains, and there are some who not as much. But I don't really see why it couldn't be physical processes.
Why?
Does that not connect?
It's got to.
You have a piece wrong.
No, I don't. No. I can't have a piece wrong.
You have to. Those pieces are stupid. She's doing this big wolf puzzle, and a lot of the pieces look fucking identical, and a lot of pieces are, like, weird. Like, there's normal puzzle pieces, and then there's just, like, weird, like, jigsaw shit that doesn't... Stupid. The pieces look like they fit together, but they don't fit together, and vice versa.
Hi.
Yes.
Fits. I said to make it.
Does it, though?
It does.
You had to... Hey, so a good rule of thumb with puzzles, if you have to make it fit, does it really fit?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
You're fucking nuts.
Don't move the stool. Physical processes are the shit. Physical processes are the shit. Sure. We've also been teetering around, because on any given day or week or whatever, I'll gain and lose a few subscribers. We've been teetering around 1,800. Right now we're at 1,801, which is pretty cool. We hit 1,800 a couple times in the past week, and like dropped back down. So like haven't quite celebrated yet, but right this very second is 1,801 subscribers, which is kind of cool. You know, next milestone. You know, we've been in the 1700s for a minute. I think it's cool. Little victories. Stack little victories to get bigger victories. Tumultuous. They have 100% certainty. To have 100% certainty, you cannot say that reason is entirely physical, because it would have been a result of natural stuff rather than 100% truth. You cannot know anything for sure unless rejecting this. I don't think you can know anything for sure regardless. I reject 100% certainty completely. And you cannot resort to probably true, because you cannot be certain that it is probably true either, if you can't be certain of anything. There are some things that we can factor in with probability, but not everything. Like, I don't think probability really comes into place when we're talking about if there is a God or not. I don't really think probability can... I don't think we can calculate probability with the information we have or don't have.
Okay, this is so annoying.
Yeah, you cannot know. I reject 100% certainty completely. And probability cannot be used with everything. Only that which we can calculate probability on. And with that, it is the end of the live stream. I need to get food and go to sleep. Thank you all so much for being here. I say it every time because I mean it every time, and I'm going to say it every time because I mean it every time. I'm always grateful for anyone who doesn't just scroll past my live streams. I'm a random nobody on the internet. I'm not really deserving of any kind of attention. So the fact that anyone stops even for a second, even if they're just lurking, even if they stay just for a minute, the fact that people will like and subscribe and chat and, come back for more live streams. We had a long-time lurker posted in the chat in the last live stream, and maybe they're here now. That's great. Long-time lurkers are exciting. The fact that somebody, whether they announce themselves on a regular basis or not, regularly comes back and watches my live streams. The fact that most of my live streams have at least like 3 or 5 viewers on like every single live, at least once it gets going, even if the chat's not moving, means I have at least 1 or 2 reoccurring viewers. And that's fucking awesome. That's so cool to me. So thank you all so much for the support. And yeah, and if you guys are having conversations with each other, if you guys are ever having conversations during a live stream, and I have to end the live stream and cut off your guys' conversation, I post these live streams as videos after I'm done with them, so you can continue those discussions in the comments section. If I'm like cutting off you guys' discussions with each other, you can always continue them in the comment section. It also helps the algorithm when I get comments, or just saying. But also I legitimately don't want to cut off your conversations, because there's never really a good stopping point. There's never really a good chat, especially once we get further on into like an hour of a live, chat's going and flowing. There's not really a good stopping point. We're just like, all right, yeah, all the conversations are done. We can stop now. So I always feel bad. So yeah, I usually go live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday night, starting somewhere between 9 and 10 p.m. Central Standard Time, and usually going for about an hour. And I hope to see you all in the future, and I hope you all have an amazing rest of your day, night, or whenever you're watching this. Bye.